Hey everybody. So I wanted to go ahead and repeat the sorry, repeat the confidence interval computation that I just did for the proportion using Bootstrap, but instead of using Excel, I wanted to show you guys a web applet. This is the StatKey web applet. This is at the website lock5stat.com/StatKey. If you just Google StatKey, it'll come up. And this page has a whole bunch of really cool different things that help you visualize and understand statistics. But for my purpose, what I want to do is I want to compute the confidence interval for a single proportion. That was what I did in the very last video. So on this one, there are some preloaded data sets, but I'm going to go ahead and edit the data. On the last video, I had just found that there were 36 seniors out of 362 total entries. So if we look at that, I can put that in under the Edit Data tab. I can put anything like that. Again, it's pretty easy because there's really only two things to put in on this. How many have the proportion? How many are in the sample? Right, the count, and what the total sample size is. So it's really, when we do the proportion, we do 36 divided by 362. So of course we get the same thing. Notice that this original sample, it gives you the count and the sample size and proportion. What's cool about this is that I can do a bootstrap really quickly. I can generate one sample. That's normally what we do in Excel. We start with that one column. And when I do that, it's a random bootstrap. It has a count of 36, a sample size of 362. That better be the same. It has a different proportion, right? I could do that again. But what's really fun here is I can generate 1,000 samples really quickly. Notice when I generate 1,000 samples, it gives me this dot plot, which is very similar to a histogram. They just do a dot plot here. Each dot represents one of the samples, and I did 1,000 of them very quickly. So cool. What is it telling me? Well, it is telling me that the proportion is exactly where it was before, 0.99. And you can see different bootstrap samples. When I was on this column right here, it's got 40, still sample size of 362. The proportion changes a little, it's higher. I'm taking one from the high side. If I take one from the low side, you see the proportion goes down to 0.72. Cool. So confidence interval, that's the thing we're really after. You see these up here. The confidence interval I'm always after is this two-tail confidence interval. And I love that 95% confidence interval. It immediately gives me the 95%. So these little bounds down here are the lower and upper bounds of the confidence interval. No computing the standard error. No multiplying by 2. It does it automatically for you. So this is an excellent way to do it. By the way, the standard error is reported up here. It's right here, and then the mean is, of course, the mean of the bootstrap distribution. So immediately it gives you all this information. And here's the other really nice thing I like about this is we can change that proportion. So if we want a confidence interval that was an 80% confidence interval, I just click on this and input 80. And hit enter. Sorry, not 80, 0.8, 80%. And it'll give me a different confidence interval. The smaller confidence interval, 10% on either side. No computing z-scores and all that a little more difficult stuff. It does it for me automatically. So I really like this. I think the proportion's very, very straightforward. And hopefully you guys do too. By the way, if you're going to use this, and you need to include the histogram on your report, the easiest way would be to take a screenshot. You can generally do that with print screen and then pasting that into a Paint applet or something like that and saving it. So hope you guys like this. I do as well. So play around with it. Enjoy your bootstraps.